I want to talk today about a concept that I see shop owners mess up all too often, and that's going to be when to say no to a repair job. You heard me right. There are instances where you should absolutely be rejecting a service order. If you're like most shop owners around the country, your service department represents about 80% of the complexity of your business, and yet only about 20% of the revenue. This is essentially the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule working against you. Now, a lot of this is inherent in the business. If you're selling bicycles, you are going to have a service department, and it's almost definitely not going to be as profitable as the sales side of your business. That being said, I do see all too often shop owners getting completely bogged down by small service orders. And I do understand why. A lot of shop owners do get caught in the emotional trap that they do want to provide affordable service to a wide range of customers, and they do see that as a gateway for somebody to come in as either a repeat service customer or someone who will eventually buy a bike from their store. But I'm here to tell you a truth that may be hard to swallow. The reality is, the more focus you put on smaller, quick, odd jobs, the more you will filter in the very customer who will never buy anything from you. The reality is, the more focus that you put into small, odd jobs, the more you will filter in the type of customer that's not going to respect your time. We have a shop service minimum in our store of $79. In 2024, we serviced 450 bicycles, and the truth is, if we didn't have a service minimum, we likely would have serviced 80 or 90 more. But those 80 or 90 more would have lost us sales and would have increased turnaround time significantly on a lot of those other service packages. Saying yes to the $20 jobs is tripping over a dollar in order to pick up a dime. A lot of shop owners get caught in the trap of thinking if they say no to a $20 work order, they are in reality giving up $20 of shop revenue. The truth is, if you don't have respect for your time, nobody will. And if you continue to fill up all of your time with the small, odd jobs, you will not be able to focus on the avatar that is looking for the complete A to Z inspection. And so you'll never find yourself in the scenario where your time gets filled by those higher level service packages. I say this from experience. This is a mistake that I made for at least 3 seasons in our service department. I was doing jobs for $10, $15, $20 because somebody pressured me that they needed it now and it was just a quick fix. The truth is, this prompts even more of this behavior and at the same time is a bit of a liability risk for you. Let me ask you this. Would you rather do a quick 5-minute brake adjustment and send a bike out the door? Or would you rather do a complete A to Z, get compensated more fairly for your time, and then send that bike out rest assured that it is safe to ride? Don't be the person that caves in checking only the rear brake just to have the customer come in later complaining about the front brake. In the customer's mind, as soon as you touch the bike, everything should be working properly. So if that's the case, charge them for an A to Z. And if they really insist that it only needs a front derailleur adjustment, a rear wheel true, and XYZ, that very well may be the case for their bike, but charge appropriately. You're still bringing that bike in for an assessment, and let's face it, you are going to do a safety check across the rest of the bike just to cover your bases, as well as taking up shop space and then processing the quote call. For you to do that for $20 is to insult your expertise. And yes, I know the shop across town is doing just that, but trust me, the only type of customer that you are going to lose is going to be the ones that filter strictly by price and never had respect for your time. Let the other shops deal with them. We are one of 4 shops in our local area, and we are by far the youngest, and yet we charge the highest service prices. Despite this, our service department is busier every year, and we will likely keep readjusting our prices in order to keep a realistic cap on that and not let it expand to the point where it's taking up all of our time. A bike shop is a business and not a charity, and you should be compensated for providing value. Some of your customers will not respect that, and you should not feel bad about letting them go. It's not a bridge that you need to burn kicking and screaming. There is a perfectly polite way to handle this. You just be clear and honest with your customers and that you provide a premium service. You do both yourself and your other customers a disservice by taking on all of the small jobs. Think about the customer that's getting the comprehensive tune-up, new grips, and new tires and is paying you $260, and they're hoping to get their bike back by this weekend because they have a ride planned. But that doesn't happen because you said yes to too many odd jobs from people who don't respect your time. I understand the concept that the customer is always right, but it is important for you to hone in on one specific avatar, serve them as best you can, and people who are outside of that demographic, you still be polite with them, but you realize that they're looking for something that might be outside of the specific scope of your business. And what I'm referring to is the person who comes in and they have demands to get their bike finished yesterday and for negative money. The biggest hurdle that you have to get over is an emotional one, because like most humans, you do want to please everyone. But for the sake of your sanity and for your other paying customers, please do not cater too heavily to the $20 jobs. I hope this helps to hear this. I know it's not a concept that a lot of people talk about openly. I'll likely make more videos in the future on this concept, but I just wanted to introduce that into your ear, that you don't have to say yes to every service job. It is okay to apply some filters. Just make sure you do so politely. This isn't a video to say, oh, you should burn the bridge with people that don't respect your time. You should be polite to every single person that comes through your doors, regardless of whether they process a transaction with you. This is more so just a call to action to respect your expertise. Bicycle mechanics are a dying breed, and I do expect that in the industry, the service component is going to continue to become more and more expensive as there's higher demand and less people out there working on bikes. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.